and then we're going to talk. I didn't know what street. I just picked the first one I could remember. This, right? It's funny that you know what street the song though. I'm just saying. And fellas, it's okay to take a little friend with you just in case you run into a problem. That's all I'm saying. We can't have sex ed in here. I'm sorry. Y'all too young. Some things you need to know. You'll find them out or not. Next question. Songwriting process, I do not have one. Other than, I don't write anything down. Lyrics or otherwise. If I remember it, then it's meant to be. But that's just me. I'm not telling you that's what you're supposed to do. You have to find something that works for you. Sometimes it's melodies first. Sometimes it can be a concept. Somebody may say something to me that I'm like, man, that'd be a great thing for a song. And then I put that on ice until something comes. I cannot force myself to write a song. So people say, do you get writer's block? No, I just wait till it comes. It will come. I believe it will. Back at one took 5 minutes to write. Because for whatever reason, it just came. The hardest part of that song was trying to make the intro not be too much or not to do too little. That part of the song took longer than any other part when I was recording it. And to find all those, I remember sitting in my AP, whatever that class is where you write, I don't know. And Mrs. Caldwell was my teacher, and we used to go at it every day because I didn't believe anything she said about you can't shift tense and you can't do this and you can't do that. If you're gonna be a writer, you're gonna. That wasn't even songs. That was just prose. And I remember going back to my classroom when I was 28, and I thanked her for everything that she taught me because I've never forgotten any of those things, and I use that in every song that I write. I want to be grammatically correct. I want to, really, because really I have 3.5 minutes to tell a story, so I need to be concise. I will say that my songs are very mathematical in that sense. By 1 minute, I need to be at the hook, otherwise you're dead. You're finished. The first 2 words of a line are all people listen to, so you better make them count. My setups need to be flawless, so that when we get to the hook, they're not so tired from hearing all the other stuff I did that they can't get to it. My bridges need to be a thing of masterwork art. The bridges, how we get back, that's my favorite thing in the world to do, because that allows me to sort of get the point, to drive the point home of what I'm trying to say. I always get half the song done, and then I have to step back and say, now what have I said? What am I trying to say, and where do I go from this point? So that I can tell a full, concise, and clear story. And I guess I do have a process, since I just told you. But that's what I do. And it's sort of, and what happens is it wasn't always that way. When I first started, it was just sort of haphazard, and I figured out a formula to make that work. And it's sort of what I've stuck by. And it seems to have worked.
Since you said that you're in the touring business instead of the record selling business,
right.
Can you tell us about how you set up your live show so that you work as much as you do?
Because
here at Berklee, they don't, not to bash, but I'm a bash. They don't teach us how to build a live show. They just say go up there with your sheet music and play what's on a little stand, and you might make money if you're lucky. But in your situation, I've seen your live show before, and you have Chris Laughlin, who's your MD, who's energetic as Jax, and then you have a great band and everybody else who's around you, and you build your show from bottom to top, and then you drop us back down to the bottom, give us the classics, and then you throw some covers in there. How do you create all that so that you keep your audience at that show, and then the next time you come back to that city, you bring the same audience plus more back? Can you tell us about how you do that?
Well, one, you have to always remember that somebody paid to see you. They're paying their money to see you. So you have to give them what they came for. One, you have to sound great. If you don't sound great, it's different on a record. You can sound like trash on a record and be okay. When people are sitting there looking at you and listening to you, you cannot fool them. You can't. There's just no way to get around that. It helps to have a few hits, to be perfectly honest with you. Because People do not respond to things that they've never heard before. We were doing the Anytime tour, and I wrote back at one while we were on tour. And I knew that it was a great song. So me, like an idiot, in the middle of the Anytime tour, I said, I got this new song, you want to hear it? Here you go. Played it, and people were like, now sing Anytime, fool. Because, for whatever reason, people only respond to what they're familiar with. What I found is that nobody knows how to do it. You get up and by trial and error. The very first show of a new tour, we have 10 more songs than we need because I don't know what's going to work. And once we get to the third or fourth show, you realize what works, you realize what doesn't. All the funny stuff that we do, all the things I say and go back and forth, I'm crafting that in those first couple of shows. That's why it's never New York, it's never LA, it's in a place where I do care about those people, but there's not going to be anybody in the press saying how bad it sucked. So then we move on, and once we get that formula down, we get that good hour and a half, and I always put it in threes. We got that first section that we just kill. We come right out killing. Then I break it down. I bring you down to the bare minimum of what I'm trying to do, and that way I can draw you in. It's all peaks and valleys. You get up, get down, bring up, and you take them on a journey with you. And you try to keep them as much as you can right in the palm of your hand. You make every person in that audience believe that you're talking to them because most of my audience is women. Now, I don't do that by being overtly sexual. I may hint at it. You've seen it. But there are ways to do that. And you only learn that by doing it over a long period of time. I watched Walter. I watched him do it. And I was like, man. Because when I first started, I was a church dude. I stood there and just sang. Because that's what you do in church. Because in church, it's not for you, it's for them. And that's what I do. I don't get on stage for me. I don't. I get on stage for everybody that's in the audience. And I think sometimes, because you can't have your own show on stage, that's the other thing. You see a lot of people having their own show on stage, and then the audience is like, we try not to do that. People always say, don't you get tired of singing them same old songs? It's like, nope. Because they're singing it louder than I am. That's why they came. It's always crazy to me when somebody says, I'm so tired of singing that. I caught my sons doing that. We don't want to sing that no more. Like, are you insane? That's what they came to hear. Well, we want to, and I tell them, okay, go ahead and do it. They go out there and they do it. And they come back, you were right. Like, yeah, I've done it. I've been there. But sometimes you just have to, figure it out. There's no formula for how to put together your live show. Just don't ever forget that the audience is there. That's all I would say.